What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 11th day of April. Here we are sitting at about $0.00257, roughly 9 hours, 20 minutes left in the day. Moving down a little bit, consolidating. Really, it's like we're forming a symmetrical triangle or a pennant pattern here, is what it looks like. We're likely getting to that breaking point where we're going to shift upwards or downwards. I do believe that Bitcoin itself will likely continue to move up a little bit more, but soon then after we should see some pulling back as well. I mean, throughout this range, every time we've moved up, we've moved down, up, down, up, down, up. The down is going to come at some point, right? And with that, I do assume that Zebec will likely see some downside in time. Before Bitcoin drops, there's definitely time for us to move up, and even move up and very, very fast to the areas that we are expecting to find resistance, which is all the way up at about 003, 0034, somewhere in that zone. It is completely possible that Zebec is already topped off and that this is the high, this little higher high endeavor here, and that we are about to move lower. But I am sticking with the upside until proven otherwise. I would say until we get 2 days in a row to close below this golden ratio zone. That's the kind of mark of truth or destruction here that we're looking for. And as long as you're holding above this golden ratio, which you actually are right now, and you're holding above prior points of resistance, I think that you look good. We start closing days below 0.0025416. That's when I would be a little bit concerned that this upside move is not going to come after all. If we take, let's see, if we take the weekly time frame, let's do the daily time frame. Yeah, we'll take this. We connect the dots from this high. That was not the high. Come on. From that high down. We connect the dots like this from high to high here. Something like this. Let's even shave it so that we're more conservative. We'll shave it down to this high. Connect the dots down to this. Something like this to be conservative. The 886 would be a perfect target. It's the 11th now, over the next 5 days, and it only takes 2 days to make a move like this. We could certainly make a move like this within the next week, and that might be the perfect area to find resistance. I mean, literally right in this area. Perhaps we wick a little bit through it, but 0032, 0035, somewhere in that area definitely stands to find resistance. Again, my expectations are if, not when, but if we get above this line, my expectation would be that this would be the most ideal point to sell, is like right above it. I mean, it was last time. I wouldn't be surprised if it was again at some point here. Or if we were to get just below it, something like that, or right at it. I mean, all in this 003, 0033 area, I'm really, or 0034 even, I'm expecting that we do find some resistance. All of that changes if we break the golden ratio, and I don't expect that right now. But let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom out, okay? Looking at the 1 hour time frame here. I'll delete this. The RSI is holding this 40-35 area as support. Stochastics are coming out of the oversold zone. And you've been red. You have been red for quite some time on the 1 hour MACD. So you've got a little bit of bullish momentum building as well. So I think that, and even bullish divergence actually. So that's nice. And that does signal, at least in my opinion, that we would see some upward movements. We even have a higher low trend line here that we've broken out of. This is the perfect area to buy, typically, in these situations. Not always. Sometimes you break out of these trend lines and it does mean death, but I don't know if I'm getting that signal here. I feel like things look optimistic for sure. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, things are a bit neutral. The RSI is a bit neutral. The price action is a bit neutral, so that's fair. Stochastics are right at the oversold zone where they may bounce. Maybe we dip in there and we start to drop, but based off the 1 hour, I would expect that we bounce, and that would likely cause the price to bounce as well. Now, are we going to see a weekend pump? Are we going to rally? Maybe. Maybe we just bounce a little bit, and then we're still in this range, something like that. Whatever. We tighten up until next week at some point. Then we break out. The MACD does not have bullish divergence here. We have higher lows here, and we have higher lows in the MACD as well in the histogram. But you are slowly dying off in your bullish or your bearish momentum, kind of like you were back here, kind of like this, and then whenever that momentum flipped, that's when you started to move up. Here, you had a slightly lower low, and then you moved up. So could we see a fake out to the downside, some type of thing that makes people worried the price is going to go down? Maybe. And that might be exactly what we're seeing right now. Maybe this is our fake out to the downside right here. That could be it. And then you're about to move up. You know, time will tell. It is the weekend, so it's a bit tricky. I don't like trading on the weekends. I don't like coming to objective conclusions on the weekends. Anything can happen, but I do expect that we'll move up, not down from here. Or if we do move down, that it won't be much. It'll just be a psyop. Looking at the daily time frame, there is a little bit of bearish divergence here between these two highs. A little bit of bearish divergence, but you've already played that out. Bearish divergence there, bearish divergence there. You've already had that play out. That's what this move from high to low was. That's exactly what, let's see, how much of a percentage drop was this? 16%. That's good enough. 16% itself is not necessarily a marker that the divergence is good enough. It's just these between these points here that it's good enough. Stochastics make me think that we could bounce. We're at the 50, but again, everything's kind of truly neutral in this position. So we're just waiting to see. The MACD really looks like it's coiled up to bounce again. And if we do bounce again, the expectation is that we go up to about 0031, 0034, somewhere up in this area here, just to form another lower high. I doubt we get above this high here. I doubt we do. But another lower high, and then we're probably working our way down again. When we moved from this high here to this low here, when we moved from this high here to this low here, it wasn't just a straight shot. Like, yes, it seems like that, but it took time. October to late November, early October to late November, a month and a half. You know, from here, from the 25th of November to the 20th of December, that basically took a month, just that little phase there. Right? This was a bit of a straight dump down, and that does happen as well. Typically, though, you do kind of bleed to the downside. So once we find the high, I'm not expecting that it's just the elevator down. I think that we will take the stairs, and over the months to come, we will slowly work our way back down to prices that are down here and even below. If you're holding for the long term, that shouldn't concern you. That should get you excited because you can just buy at cheaper levels. But at any point, things can change. I'm just sticking with the idea that we're going to continue to move down, that this is not the bear market low for Zebec until Bitcoin has itself found its bear market low. I don't have anything else to say. I hope I've given you some things to think about. This is a perfect area to take profits. If you don't take profits here, hopefully you get the opportunity to take profits here. If you don't do either of those things, that's okay. But if you don't sell here, don't you dare sell down here, because it's just a matter of time before we come back up, and then we're at the next good area to take profits. Very tradable if you're patient. You got to let things play out, though. And I would personally, just thinking out loud here, if I bought down here and I didn't sell here, I might be inclined to sell here, or at the very least have a very tight stop loss right here, even if it were to go up, because the amount up that it has, that Zebec has left to go, I mean, just compared to the downside that's going to come over the coming months, the inevitable downside that I am expecting will happen, I don't know if the risk reward is worth it there. But if I was still holding it, I don't know. I'm greedy sometimes. I might just put a tight stop loss down here, and then if this happens, as soon as we're above this high, I would just sell personally. And that's even like just right there, just below 003. I would still probably just sell right there. I don't care if I don't catch the top. I don't care about that extra 10%. Because if I bought down here, that's fine. Now, that's only if I bought down here. If I'm buying here, again, tight stop losses, and I'm making this play, I am trying to squeeze the lemon a little bit. I might look back here to points of resistance and layer out my selling prices at those points there, somewhere in that area. But it's just the same old stuff. None of that's financial advice. It's just my brain speaking out loud. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.